All right, y'all. Another look at this. This is another way of looking at why they hated Obama so much. I think APAC, they all is in on this, man. I think Israel hated Obama because of this speech that he gave. And he was basically just telling the truth about Palestine. Like, they can't be living in an open air prison. They have to be, be able to live with some dignity. You know what I mean? And it's just like Israel hated Obama. So that's why they put those narratives out there, because they control the media and they control the newspaper. So they hated Obama for him not siding with. See, if you look at Obama and you look at Biden, two totally different animals, man. But I want y'all to listen to this speech that this guy, spoke about, and just listen to what he's saying, man, because a lot of stuff what he's saying is making sense. This is not Obama, but this is another guy that just wasn't gonna put up with Israel's bloodshed. Basically, I mean, at this point, they're just killing kids. You know what I mean? I'm for Israel, you know what I'm saying, but I'm not for killing just innocent people like that, man. I mean, you just can't just mow people over like that and just kill people, bombing churches, bombing mosques, you know what I'm saying? Come on, man. This is on TV. This is on the internet, on social media every single day. This shit is crazy when you think about the stuff that they are allowed to do. You know what I'm saying? This Big Rich, let's listen to it.
At the same time, I will exercise my freedom to condemn anyone who celebrates the murder of little babies, of grandmothers, the rape of mothers that has unfolded in the Middle East because of the evil of Hamas. No Canadian should stand with an evil, sadistic, terrorist death cult like Hamas. People are free to have their own opinions.
As the Israel-Palestine conflict has intensified in recent days, a viral video featuring former U.S. President Barack Obama has been making headlines on several social media platforms. In the speech, Barack Obama advised Israelis to look at the world through the eyes of Palestinians and to recognize that neither occupation nor expulsion is the answer. He emphasized that just as Israelis built a state in their homeland, Palestinians have a right to be a free people in their own land. Furthermore, Obama encouraged both Israelis and Palestinians to work on the peace process to enhance security and improve the economies of both parties. Here are excerpts of the speech.
It is not fair that a Palestinian child cannot grow up in a state of their own. Living their entire lives with the presence of a foreign army that controls the movements, not just of those young people, but their parents, their grandparents, every single day. It's not just when settler violence against Palestinians goes unpunished. It's not right to prevent Palestinians from farming their lands or restricting a student's ability to move around the West Bank or displace Palestinian families from their homes. Neither occupation nor expulsion is the answer. Just as Israelis built a state in their homeland, Palestinians have a right to be a free people in their own land. I'm going off script here for a second, but before I came here, I met with a group of young Palestinians from the age of 15 to 22. And talking to them, they weren't that different from my daughters. They weren't that different from your daughters. or sons. I honestly believe that if any Israeli parent sat down with those kids, they'd say, I want these kids to succeed. I want them to prosper. I want them to have opportunities just like my kids do. I believe that's what Israeli parents would want for these kids if they had a chance to listen to them and talk to them. I believe that. Now, only you can determine what kind of democracy you will have. But remember that as you make these decisions, you will define not simply the future of your relationship with the Palestinians, you will define the future of Israel as well. As Ariel Sharon said, I'm quoting him, "It is impossible to have a Jewish democratic state at the same time to control all of Eretz Israel. If we insist on fulfilling the dream in its entirety, we are liable to lose it all." Or, from a different perspective, I think of what the novelist David Grossman said shortly after losing his son, as he described the necessity of peace. "A peace of no choice," he said, "must be approached with the same determination and creativity as one approaches a war of no choice." Now, Israel cannot be expected to negotiate with anyone who's dedicated to its destruction. But while I know you have had differences with the Palestinian Authority, I genuinely believe that you do have a true partner in President Abbas and Prime Minister Fayyad. I believe that. And they have a track record to prove it. Over the last few years, they have built institutions and maintained security on the West Bank in ways that few could have imagined just a few years ago. So many Palestinians, including young people, have rejected violence as a means of achieving their aspirations. There is an opportunity there. There's a window. Which brings me to my third point. Peace is possible. It is possible. I'm not saying it's guaranteed. I can't even say that it is more likely than not, but it is possible. I know it doesn't seem that way. There are always going to be reasons to avoid risk. There are costs for failure. There will always be extremists who provide an excuse not to act. I know there must be something exhausting about endless talks about talks and daily controversies and just the grinding status quo, and I'm sure there's a temptation just to say, enough, let me focus on my small corner of the world and my family and my job and what I can control. But it's possible. Negotiations will be necessary, but there's a little secret about where they must lead. 2 states for 2 peoples. 2 states for 2 peoples. There will be differences about how to get there. There are going to be hard choices along the way. Arab states must adapt to a world that has changed. The days when they could condemn Israel to distract their people from a lack of opportunity or government corruption or mismanagement, those days need to be over. Now's the time for the Arab world to take steps towards normalizing relations with Israel.